That's your problem.
Actually, why it tastes good? You got to put something in it.
What else do you put?
Shit, it fruit, cinnamon, nutmeg.
I can't put in fruit. It's not part of my container.
But the cinnamon and nutmeg are free, right?
I could use that, yeah.
What
I
about-
usually do fruit and I love it, but now I can't because where it fits in my schedule with 80 days, I'm not allowed to have a fruit with it.
What plan are you on?
B.
What are your containers?
I get a blue like in meal 2 and meal 3, but I've been on a routine of drinking Shakeology at 3 o'clock, which is like meal 4 on my way home from work. So it's convenient because I can drink it while I'm driving.
Switch up your spinach. Put like a cucumber in there, or
Oh,
Now that sounds good.
oh yeah, I didn't think about cucumber.
Zucchini is really good, and you can't.
yeah.
Zucchini.
Really? Okay, I'll try it because the spinach is killing me.
I'm gonna find some recipes and like tag you in them, because you don't need to be eating spinach every day.
If you like it creamy, avocado is good too, but it'll make it like thicker.
Yeah.
And also, I do the cocoa nibs, which count as a teaspoon, I believe. Yeah, and that gives it like and then I told you about adding the mint. It gives it like a mint chocolate chip.
I did buy the mint. I have some cocoa, but what I've done is I've made a carb that has a teaspoon in it, and I eat that with the shake, and so that gets all my containers for the ride home. So I just need to revamp that meal next week and to get something where I like. I was trying to make it as easy as possible, but I don't like the way it tastes, so I got to figure something else out.
Sure.
What flavor did you say it was? I think I missed that part. What flavor is it?
Vanilla.
Vanilla? Yeah. I like, well, yeah, not the fruit, unsweetened applesauce, nut butter, extracts, rum extract. That's really good. I love rum extract, peppermint extract.
Okay.
Or just
almond extract too. That's good.
Yeah, or maple extract. So any of those pure extracts, those are really good. And then cinnamon. But I think you said something about cinnamon in the video.
Yeah, Heather mentioned that.
Cinnamon.
So the extracts are free?
Yes.
Yeah. So are y'all excited for our hot seat event?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We are.
I think we're gonna, this is my first experience doing a hot seat, and Stacy graciously agreed to be my first opportunity of doing that. And I am confident that y'all will come away having related with Stacy and learned something in the process. And then what I want to do is, start offering this every so often, depending on how it goes tonight. But the key here is to help you guys overcome things in your business, overcome limiting beliefs. But my goal is for you to figure it out by me asking questions. So I'm not going to give Stacy all the answers. At the end, after I've asked enough questions, I will give her a action item, and based on what we discussed, what I think needs to happen, and then it's about applying it. So Stacy will leave tonight with homework that she'll be held accountable of doing. So depending on what that is. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start, and I'm going to mute everyone. Stacy, you can stay unmuted just to make sure that, there's no echoes or any of that stuff. But I want to start off by Stacy, you just introduce yourself. Just briefly, you can say how long you've been in the business, how many people you've helped since you started this business, and since you became a coach, or what inspired you to become a coach, and how did this opportunity come into your life? So I'll go ahead and mute.
Okay. So I am Stacy Levine. I have been a coach, I want to say since June. I have to look at the date. I'm not really sure. But I really just enjoyed the community of people, and Renee was just very aggressive isn't the word, but just always there, and just a little push here and there. And so when she was like, you could totally do this, and it just kind of evolved to that, and then just being really involved. I've always been what I thought was an introvert, but I'm finding out that I'm really not, because I would not be chosen to be in the hot seat, I don't think, if I was an introvert. But but how I fell into Renee anyway was she found me on a yard sale post, and I had been eating healthy and doing a little bit on my own, and it's very bizarre, because it really was like I just was waiting for something bigger to happen. And then I joined her group, and then she messaged me after, like she did, and I hesitated for a little bit. I talked to my husband, and he's like, well, what you're doing is working. You don't need to do anything else. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And the rest is history. So I have, changed everything. And, he has come around, and he is extremely supportive. And, I've got everyone eating. We're going to a wedding in 2 weeks. And his sister said, what kind of bread do you want? And he said, whole grain bread. And I almost died. I was like, I don't know who you are or how you said whole grain bread. But he did it because he knew that's what I would want, and that's what we do. So it was amazing. So I was just like, that's hysterical. So here I am, and wanting to propel forward and but get to that next big push moment that I had, 6-8 months ago.
Love that. It's funny too, just reflecting on how we did cross paths, and how it was totally a God thing. And actually, with a lot of you, Marilyn, Kay, how I know that you guys wouldn't be in my life if it wasn't for that as well. So it's just funny how God puts people in your life for a reason. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our hot seat topic. So I have asked Stacy to ask me anything, something that she is wanting to overcome in her business, that she feels that she really needs to focus on and work on, that is she's been specifically struggling with. So yeah, I'm kind of feeling like I'm on the hot seat, but I think it's a great thing. So I'm really excited to help walk Stacy through overcoming this and hear more about it. So Stacy, if you want to share what you've been struggling with.
So here lately, over the last few weeks, I've noticed when trying to get consistent and do things, I would look at names on my list of, connects or no's or maybes, and I would make excuses for why I didn't want to message them. And so I don't know if it's fear of rejection or if it's just not wanting to really, because I feel like I'm okay with no, but I feel like I'm being an inconvenience. And that's what I struggle with, the, inconveniencing them, or just not being what they need right now, which in hindsight is probably what they do need. But looking through that list and say, pick people that you haven't, and just message them. And every person has a different story of why I get caught up in not feeling comfortable enough to message them, because either, I have before and they just ghost me, so then I feel like if I go back, it's just an inconvenience, and I don't want to be that person to them. I want to be someone that they can come to and have a good relationship with, and then the hard no's, or like they're doing their own thing. So I don't want to impede on that and make it worse in a sense. And so part of that same struggle is, I'm very inconsistent. And so when I have, like today, I did really great. I sat down and I invited a bunch of people to the free group. I actually did 2 coach invites tonight. I've never done that before. So, I did a few things, and so I'm on this high. So for the next few days, it'll be great. And then I will run out of people and I will filter through the same people, and I don't have a plethora of friends, and I'm not seeking that out actively. So that's part of the issue too. But I feel like it's just a circle of not wanting to follow up and message people that I can inconvenience, and then at the same time, just running out of people to do an initial message with that I haven't contacted. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay.
So I want to ask, why do you feel like people will be inconvenienced by you messaging them?
I just feel like I'm a bother because they've already kind of given me the cold shoulder. And so obviously they don't want to respond. So taking the next step to respond again and respond again when they don't respond, I guess it just feels like, you want a reciprocation. And so because I'm not getting it, I feel like it's an inconvenience to them. Like they don't want to hear it if they're not reciprocating to begin with.
So when you message them, what do you say?
It just depends. But what I have done before is just like, I would start, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then they would ask and you say, oh, well, I've really gotten into health and fitness. And then I'll say, are you working on any health and fitness goals? And some of them will respond with yes. And then I will ask another question. And like the one girl, she seemed really interested. And I said, well, tell me about what kind of, workouts you like or what you don't like. Haven't heard from her in 3 weeks. And we were having a good flow. And so I don't really know what happened. And so I don't want to piss her off is not really the right word, but like it had taken her a couple times to answer the questions before, like a few days. And then it just got longer and longer in between responses. So I felt like she was just slowly trying to get rid of me. But, and she has, but she hasn't. And she's one of the ones that pops up, and I just don't pull the trigger to be like, hey, what did you think of this or whatever.
Yeah. So, why do you feel like you can't provide that solution and follow up with her even if she's not responding to you?
Why do I feel like I can't provide the solution?
Like, why do you feel like you can't follow up with her and, say, let's pick up where we left off. I know you were really interested. Why do you think you're feeling that way?
I guess because I just don't want to feel pushy, or salesy is not the right word, because my husband got in my head the other day, which they tend to do. And we were having an honest conversation, and I said, I don't really feel like I'm selling something or I am a salesperson. And he was like, well, you are. That's what you're doing. And I said, yeah, but it's not. Like, I honestly feel like it's not. But I feel like they think that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Before I answer another question, there's a difference here between what I'm doing with her by asking her questions is coaching. When I tell her and give her advice, that's mentoring. So I'm going to mentor you about selling a little bit and to share that we do have a product that we're offering people. We are selling ourselves, but the key with it is that we're here to help people, and we would be selling we sell, our favorite lipstick brand. We sell our kids to people. Like, you should see what my kid did. It was so cute. That's selling something to somebody all the time. So what we are really doing is just sharing something that we are doing and doing it passionately and asking them to join us. So yes and no. So I mean, it's kind of like, yes, you are, because we're always selling something. When people look at you and see, your facial expressions, you're selling yourself, your mood, you're selling, is that person approachable or not? Are they happy? So yes, we are selling, but we're not we're not pushing a product on people, because we're not a pushy car salesman, if that makes sense. We're not that kind of salesman. So again, let me backtrack a little bit, because you did mention a ton of things. And you mentioned some excuses, some fear of rejection, being consistent and inconsistent with, and then not having enough friends, not following up. So I want to come back to why you want to do this business. What is it that keeps you here?
The community of you all and the passion that we have to do what we do keeps me here, and I want everyone else to have that.
That's good. I know I'm thought a little, but it's because we need to remember those things. And
right.
So, what is holding you back from sharing this community with others boldly? Why do you feel that you'll be rejected from, offering this community to other people if you love it so much?
Right. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I can say it and we can talk about it, but then when you get to the nitty gritty, it's the nitty gritty, because, I will have looked at some of the names and I glaze right over them, because I know them personally. So I feel like there's already a judgment there, maybe, that I already know how they're going to respond, which is not the way to be, but because I know them personally, we're acquaintances or what have you, I know the type of person that they are.
Do you feel like they're judging you?
Yes. And it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter one iota about anything, but sometimes it does.
Exactly. It shouldn't matter, but it does.
Yeah. And I know that. But then when I get to go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, what do you think because your fear is, basically your body's defense mechanism. And I say this a lot, but you're basically asking yourself, and I wrote actually, is a perceived threat. And it's our job of our brain to recognize if this is logical or not. So this perceived fear of them judging you, what is that look like? Like, what do you fear they're judging you and thinking when you message them? I know this is
that that what I'm doing and what I'm offering to them is not worthy of their time, or is not worth what they think is acceptable in society, and that type of stuff. I say that type of stuff, that was a random thing, not that type of stuff, but like, as far as being I don't want to say out of the norm, because that's not really where my head is, but just getting to a point to where I don't know, I lost my thought process.
It's okay. Like, we're sisters here. So
Yeah.
This can get deep. It's going to stay, this is a safe place. So just know that it's okay to, be open about these feelings, because they're okay because we all have them. I've had them. I know everyone in here is relating to you right now. They just haven't said anything, but this is helping them, whether you realize it or not. You share. So, you know, how do you think this is out of the norm to them? Is there something about them that these people that you know, when you go through them and you decide, like, we have these people in our lives that we're either really afraid to share something with because we think they're better than us, or we, you know, think they're below us so we could care less, you know, whatever we shared with them. And that is not right to think like that. And I'm not saying, but it's human nature. I mean, to be real here, we do that. There are certain people in our lives that we are afraid of because either we look up to them, we feel like they're better than us, and it is totally not from God. It's not realistic, but it is normal to have those feelings. So what
I think I didn't realize it, but I think that's part of what it is that I think that they're just better. And so that's where the, I don't like this word, but worthlessness, which I know that I am worthy, but because of me thinking that they're judging me and that they're better than me certainly is more than I was thinking of.
See how this is like helping? I mean, you're figuring this out. I'm not figuring this out for you. I'm just asking you questions to draw you to the conclusion. So when we're talking about worthiness and you feeling worthy for these people, who are these people? Did you go to school with them? Like, tell me more about these specific people and like how many.
Co-workers and childhood friends. And I say childhood friends, but I went to an elementary school where we did K through 8. And so I have known these people since we were in kindergarten to 8th grade. Now I haven't lived, and several of them live elsewhere in New Jersey where I grew up. And so I haven't interacted with them in probably 20 years, you know, your Facebook friends and blah, blah, blah. You know, and I have started conversations with most of them, but you know, just that initial judgment and, you know, the distance and just, you know, knowing them from a person that they were before, I guess, and then to who you see they are on Facebook, which you can't, it's hard to judge that, but, you know, people do that same. And then the coworkers where I may run into them during the day or, you know, on a weekend or something. So there's the distance people that I knew from childhood, and then there's the immediate people that I don't know all that well, but I interact with on a daily basis.
So you don't want them to put you in a category.
Yes.
So thinking about, you know, fear and it being a threat or not, if you were to really be bold and message these people, what could be logically the worst thing that could happen?
They would say, no, thank you. And that would be it. I mean, I don't know what else they would say. I don't think they would say anything else.
Do you think they'd unfriend you?
No.
So you think they just like kindly say no thank you?
Yes.
But you're worried that they're maybe talking behind your back and laughing about it?
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm just, I guess, worried more about the reapproach, and we're, you know, getting back to the being a bother and them being better than me. So I don't feel comfortable reaching out to them again because they've already kind of put their hand up and said no. Does that make sense?
So all these people you've already reached out to and you've been bold enough to invite them.
But yeah, most of them, yes.
Most of them. So there's a few that you weren't there yet.
There's a few on the list that haven't made the cut, and there's the ones also that I have glazed over some. Yes.
So So when they say no, they just say, no, thank you, I'm currently doing something else or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, a couple have, I just like to do my own thing. Or I'm doing, I go to the gym and this is what I like to do.
and how do you end that conversation?
I usually end it with, I'm glad that you're doing something. I mean, I don't say something, but I'm glad that you're doing something. If you need any help in the future, I'd love to be a part of that. Please let me know if and when I can help you on your health journey.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So in regards to worthiness and, not bothering them and actually creating action where you are getting over this fear, I want to encourage you. You can message them indirectly without inviting them. You can say something like, how has it been going with XYZ that you're already doing?
Okay.
Just checking in on them because you legitimately care about what they're doing. You have
Okay.
attachment to the decision if they join you or not, but you're showing your face to them. So they're going to continue to see the changes in you. And when the timing's right for them, because life can happen and they
Right.
may, at some point not be able to do what they're doing currently, and things may change. So letting them know that you're there for them regardless if they join you or not. So you don't have to just follow them up with another invite and say, is now a better time for you? Certainly there's certain people you can do that with. But in this case, you can say, also another option. So that the one is, how is XYZ going? I hope you're continuing to rock it. I'm always loving to hear about new things and interested because you're in a health and fitness industry and you're into health and fitness. It's one of your things, that you're engaged in and you do and you're passionate about. So, being interested in other people's health and fitness journeys is good. And another option is you can indirectly say, I know that you're not interested in this. And say it, in your own words because you don't want to sound scripty, but you can say, I know you already told me you weren't interested in this at all. But I would love it if you just take a look at this video or business opportunity, call that we're doing with my community on, XYZ, and give me some feedback because you may know somebody that would be interested because I know you, from school knew a ton of people. And so that way you're basically telling them, look, I know you don't want to do this, but I know you really know a lot of people and, you have, you're complimenting them and just asking them to give you feedback. So, and a lot of times they'll, watch that and then say, wait a minute, actually I am interested now. Or they'll say, actually I do know somebody that might be interested. Or worst case, they don't say anything.
Yeah.
So that's definitely my homework for you for that is to go to those people. How many are there?
I don't know.
So how many, okay, so I want to, because we talked about a lot of things. So I think we've really nailed down what is going on deep down that is holding you back from being consistent, and it's your worthiness and you being worthy and feeling worthy of what you're offering people is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, because if that wasn't in the way, I would be all kinds of people.
And it takes time. It takes time. This is a growth journey, so you will get there. I know you will. It just is those affirmations and reminding yourself that you are worthy and that what you have to offer is priceless. Like it is. You know, it's so much more than just a gym membership. It is a community, and you just told me, why did you choose to do this?
Right.
Why are you here right now? It has nothing to do with the health and fitness, because you could go get
Right.
it has so much more to do with the sisterhood and the community than anything else. And reminding yourself of that, and maybe writing that somewhere and having it posted. So I also wanted to ask you about the friends thing. How many friends do you have on Facebook?
400 and something. It hasn't changed since the last time we talked, which is really just only last week. I haven't gotten into the Instagram thing, but I believe I have some friends on there. But I haven't jumped into that and started looking at my followers and really kind of tapping into that just yet. And I feel like that's an avenue that I need to tackle.
Well, you just told me what you feel like you need to do. So when do you plan to do that, Stacy?
Let's see. I have time this weekend to work on it. I will work on it this weekend, and I will be messaging some people from Instagram by Sunday for sure.
Okay. So,
Is that all right?
You said the wedding was this weekend?
It's next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm home this weekend.
Okay.
So.
Well, awesome. So then Sunday, you're going to let me know how that goes with Instagram.
Yes.
And start journeying into that and see what happens. I mean,
okay.
I think it's really important, and I shared this, I don't even know where anymore, but I think, and this is for everyone, I think it's really important that we always focus on our business building activities daily. You know, those power hours, those are crucial to growing our business, to growing in confidence, to feeling more worthy, to overcoming our limiting beliefs, because it's the actions that we do over and over again that diminish them, because pretty soon they, you know, you get them, you know, you start realizing, oh, well, I do have this, you know, like you said, I just realized that it was this worthiness issue that I didn't know I had. I had a lot of those too, where, you know, I realized like at first I didn't think I was a leader. Then I was like, how am I going to make more friends? I felt like I wasn't a good enough coach. I'm not organized. And a lot of times, you know, a time issue has more to do with organization than anything else. And so, you know, I don't even know what I was getting at there. Totally drew. I don't even.
You said the vitals.
But yeah, the vital, doing those consistently will propel and keep moving you forward in your business and keep you from falling back into the limiting beliefs. When I stop being consistent with my power hours, those limiting beliefs, they get room to come back in, and they sneak back in. And today they still sneak back in. When I stop being consistent, they sneak back in. When I get the ball rolling, they don't. That was what I was going to say. So staying consistent with those, but always having one business related activity that you're focused on, growing yourself in the business. So business building comes first and foremost, but setting time aside to grow yourself in a business related activity, whether it be getting better with Instagram and making new friends, or learning how to do ads on Facebook, or learning how to get better at live video, or learning how to follow up, or creating a system of duplication and YouTube videos. Something, you know, so that you should have one thing, not all of those things. You know, you don't want to do, all of those, but just one thing that is business related that you set aside, like maybe even an hour a week
Mhm.
that you're just going to focus on growing yourself in a business related activity so that it'll pay off later on down the road, and you're just educating yourself, because we're forever students, and that is this business. We're forever students. So
I've been really bad at that because I feel like I have to try to know everything right now, and that just confuses and makes everything crazy. So I like the idea of just picking one specific thing to focus on and get really, really good at it, or, knows the ins and outs of it so I can manage it without thinking, because all these other things I got to think about constantly. So it'd be nice to have something I don't have to think about that will actually help my business.
yes, and it sounds like you've recognized, and I heard it a lot in what you were saying, is that, I think they're going to do this. I think that this may happen. I think so. There's a lot of thinking going on with you, Stacy, and when we let ourselves think a lot, we stop and we freeze and we don't do anything.
Mhm.
I know myself,
Yes.
overwhelmed by thinking too much, and then I stop. And so that's another, like, recognizing that fear, and is this something that is logical that I'm thinking about right now, or is this not, and should I just say, screw that thought and push forward because I have a goal. And so I've really enjoyed doing this. This has been, I think, awesome, and I'm excited to get y'all's feedback. But I want to end with one thing, Stacy, where I just want to ask. We have our homework assignment. Sunday, you're going to, go tackle the Instagram, make some new friends, report back to the team page, let all of us know how many new friends you made, and share that with us. And also by Sunday, I would message those people and do it in an email.
Okay.
So you don't have to say, I'm inviting you. Just ask them how whatever fitness thing they're into is going. And or you can just ask them, if they'd be interested in taking a look at this opportunity. So to end with it, I just wanted you to share with everyone where you want to take this business, where you want to be. And I do these goals a lot because I think it's so important to keep reminding ourselves of our goals. So let's hear, your 5-year, your 1 year, your 1 month, and we already know what you're going to do this week to move forward. So
Right.
if you want to share with us where,
Okay.
your big, no lid, big goal.
Okay. Well, I don't typically think too big, and I feel like I don't because I have a whole other full-time job that restricts my time. But big for me would be 5-year would to be 5-star diamond. I think that's achievable, and I think it's within my time constraints that I have. By the end of this year, I would love to be 1-star diamond. I know that takes a lot of legwork, and I want to get onto the inviting more coaches and feeling more comfortable with that. For the month, I'm going to just say January's over, but for February, I'd like to help 5 people in February, which is very aggressive for me, but I would love to do that. And I think being on Team Cup is going to be very helpful. We're all going to work together, and I'm excited to see what I can do now that I have a little bit more under my belt from the last Team Cup, and really try to bring it and, make that happen.
So achieving those ranks, what is that going to do for you and your family?
I don't know. I don't even know what the money is. I have no idea. I just know it's a goal that I see other coaches have, and that's what I want to be. That I want to be that person. I want to be a leader. I want people to come to me to help, and I want to continue to help others. So monetarily, I don't know what that means. It doesn't really matter to me. I know we have to have some type of, extra money is always amazing. So, I mean, there's a plus there. But just to be in the company and be a part of the bigger picture of Beachbody would be amazing for me.
Yeah, and it definitely doesn't have to be a financial thing. I know
Yeah.
we talked about the trips. So, I will share that, being a 5-star, being a 1-star gets you leadership retreats. Next week I am going to LA, and hotel, all that's paid for, and I'm going to be making a stop for the day to spend time with Kay Howe. So,
Yay.
yeah, they had a $40 to Denver, and so and Christina, maybe you can come too. Like, how far away are you from Denver? Is it 3 hours? We could all go have lunch. So yeah, anybody that wants to come to Denver next Sunday, I'll be there all day. And so I wanted to go see a mountain somewhere. I don't know. I've never been to Denver, but I don't know.
Coming to Denver then.
Yes, come to Denver on Sunday, a week from Sunday. And then we'll all go have lunch and spend time together. That'll be so fun. Yay! So
Did we record this call?
it is recorded.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
I may need to watch it 8 more times and take my own notes.
And it's good to be self-aware of what is going on that you may not realize with the thinking, and that it's a lot of our thinking isn't realistic. And I know all these ladies probably can go around here and share one limiting belief that they all have. That actually be kind of fun. I mean, I don't know, it just put things into perspective that we all have them in some form or another. And just knowing that you don't have to desire the 5 1-year, all those goals for financial. It can be totally trip related. The Success Club trips, those are, non-negotiables, if you ask me. Those, bring your family, go. If you can go to those, that's a great goal. Especially 1-star and 5-star, there are bonuses. Money is definitely involved in that. And so, just know that too. And, so that will give you more flexibility to spend with your family. 5-star means you're elite. An elite coach does have a lot of perks as far as leadership, having access as a leader and being distinguished as a leader in the coaching community. You will be on the round table and have a say in changes that are implemented through Beachbody as a leader. So,
that's great.
Yeah. So that's why elite is a big deal. And when you have to be a 5-star to be elite, and you have to have, so, it shows that, and your goal has always been to be known as a coach, to be successful as a coach and grow a health and fitness business. And yes, those goals will definitely do that. And I think it'll happen sooner than 5 years, but I think that that's a great start, and I'm excited to watch it happen for you.
Thank you.
We're going to crush all these limiting beliefs and just
yes.
move forward. So everybody can unmute themselves. Thank you so much, Stacy, for letting me put you on the spot like that.
Yeah.
You did awesome. You really did awesome. And I think you came away growing so much and ready to tackle, this business and really
Yes.
take
I
it to the level.
did not know what to expect.
Yes. So what did y'all think?
I thought it was good.
Did you see some of yourself in Stacy?
Oh, I see a lot of myself in Stacy, and in fact, I think we've talked about that a few times. So we're very similar in our limiting beliefs.
I think it starts with at some point, or they kind of into everybody's path. So I feel like what you're going through, Stacy, is just a phase, and you'll totally rock Team Cup and work through it just like everybody else has. I don't think that, this is going to hold you back one bit.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's the action, I'm telling you. It creates that momentum. So, Heather, do you think that by hearing Stacy's story, that's going to help you in overcoming, the similarities that y'all have, just hearing, the action steps that she plans to take?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm similar. I think, we're similar in the way of not wanting to be judged or not wanting to sound pushy. When we go to message people and they say no, I have a hard time following up because they've said no. So it's like, what else can I offer them? They've said no. I don't know. It's that whole idea of people thinking you're in some ugly pyramid scheme. And this is not what this is. And I've realized that, it's the first time I've ever become a part of a big movement like this that I totally believe in. I, ignore all of that other stuff. And in fact, when I met Renee, we live in the same neighborhood, but what got me is meeting her at the pool wearing a Shakeology hat or something with Beachbody. And I'm like, hey, what is that? And then it was history from there.
I love it.
Yes, that awareness there, I'm telling you. That's awesome. And
your post today was amazing. Good job.
I feel
Thank
bad.
you.
Oh, it was awesome.
Look, I've been so busy, but I'm gonna go look. I shaved my dogs and bathed them, and it's been like all my dogs have been totally.
It made
You
me
can come
want
wash my animals.
I'm gonna go look though as soon as this call is over because I really am so proud of you for doing that and just being
Thanks.
bold after our conversation yesterday. So I know it's awesome.
Thank you.
But yeah, maybe you and Stacy should chat more about those things. And, I'm here for you too. And we can sit down and do one of these and, create some accountability with each other and action items to help each other overcome that. I do believe that success partners are good to have that don't have the same weaknesses. Why you relate with each other and can help each other in that way, as far as I'm overcoming it, and when you see Stacy, it'll motivate you to overcome it. But it's really good to partner up with somebody that is strong where you're weak, and you're weak where they're strong, and that sort of whatever, so that you balance each other out and you both have something to bring to the table to help each other grow. And that has been what I've seen success partners most successful is that you see something in somebody that they're very strong in that you're not, and you're like, I want to learn to do it like that.
Can you give us an example of exactly what you mean?
Okay, say you see a coach and they are hitting Success Club consistently, and they're doing, really great with bringing on challengers, but they cannot duplicate, and they really struggle with coaches and help, growing a team. And you or somebody else may struggle with, rocking a challenge group, but you can bring coaches in all day long. So it's like that balance. So you both have something that you can help each other in, and that coming together will make both of you stronger and better.
Okay.
Like one the yin and one of you's the yang.
Exactly. I like that. So what about
And Stacey, to tell you, sorry, Renee, wanted to tell you, when I started Beachbody, I told Renee no for probably, I'm not even kidding you, like 4 months. I was like, no, I'm rocking my own jam. Like, you can bother me any day now. I'm done with you. And I was going through a lot of stuff then. I was really sick. And instead of her messaging me every day, even though I was, you know, doing my own thing, she was like, you know, I'm praying for you. You look great. You're doing well. That when you follow up, like Renee said, it doesn't have to be, yo, I talked to you, join me. You know, it could be, you know, I've been thinking about you today. I hope you're doing well. You look amazing. Keep rocking your fitness thing. Keep rocking. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Keep rocking your jam, you know. So don't get discouraged and feel like you're not worthy when somebody tells you no. Just reapproach with like Renee, a different connectivity, because telling yourself a relationship as a coach, as somebody to lean on, not like as a product pusher. So I wanted to tell you that.
Thank you.
Keep doing you.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Just kind of re-engage the conversation to something else, and you'll hook them like she did you.
Well, it's about know, like, and trust. And,
Right.
you know, you are selling yourself. And in time, the timing will be right if you stay consistent with them and you show them that you genuinely care. I've heard somewhere, and I said it somewhere too again today. I don't even know where. I keep saying that today because I've been all over, but earlier today. But we as coaches are really professional friend makers, you know, and that is what we do. We're professional friend makers, and that's what we're learning. It's not about Beachbody. It's not about the product. It's about being professional at making new friends and just making new people that we can, you know, help in some way. It doesn't even have to be health and fitness. It can be motivation of some sort, something that you overcame that they may be going through, or something that, you know, they could help you with that you're struggling with, and you know that friend thing. So just being a professional friend maker. And so when you reach out to them, just do it in a way of, I'm here to be your friend. I'm not here to talk about Beachbody. A lot of times they're going to ask you and you won't even need to ask them. And that when you start acting interested in them and being that friend and curious about their life, they'll naturally say, so how's the Beachbody going? How's that going? Can you tell me more? Like, they will. And I think Christina probably did that to me. And that's what happened. And I was like, well, now that you ask. So.
That did happen, you know, because I was tired of being sick, and she just, I mean, she was that thorn in my side, always telling me she was thinking about me, always, always wanting to know how I was doing. And finally I was like, okay, what do I have to, like, I'm showing you, you're cool, let's be friends. And, you know, the rest is history. They'll come to you. It'll come. You just got to work through that wall that you've got, thinking, I don't know what to say. You just be you. Do you? They'll come.
If they're like, actually, this is something else. I've been doing a lot of PD today with Bob, my friend Bob and Josh. So Bob was talking about the apples, and this girl was like talking about, you know, I had this rotten apple and I was really stuck. And, you know, she unfriended me and everything. And I felt horrible because of this rotten apple. And Bob was like, you know, basically the way the apples work, you have the red apples, which are, you know, people that you don't really need to even show them a third party tool like a business opportunity, or, you know, what you recommend for their health and fitness or whatever, you know, they're ready. They just want it, whatever you got, because they know, like, and trust you, and they've been following you. They are, you know, whatever, ready to go. Then you have your green apples that are like, I'm kind of interested, but I want to know more. And I need to ask some more questions. And, I haven't really gotten the full know, love, and trust and all that going. So I'm going to keep asking some questions. And then you have these rotten apples. And Bob was like, you need to chuck those things as far as you can, as fast as you can. Because you don't need that negativity being toxic in your circle. So wherever, there will be rotten apples. They're going to come. And that's just life. It's humans. And as soon as you realize that vibe is not my tribe, those need to be like gone. Like you don't need to waste your time with them, and you need to just keep moving forward, looking for the right apple. So, if somebody that you're reaching out to be a friend unfriends you, screw them anyway. Like
Right.
that is, you are better off now than later, because it would have been a bad event in the end no matter what. So sooner than later is the way, and I didn't think like that at first. It's a growth journey. So I have come to that very, very like confident place where I'm like, you know what? See you bye. Like if you don't want what's best for me and I'm wanting what's best for you, I don't want you in my life. Like, because you're just a toxic, rotten apple. And
Yeah.
I don't have room for that. I don't have room for negativity. So that is also maybe helpful. But yeah, so there's something else that I wrote down today that I forgot. And it's getting late, so that's probably why I'm forgetting, because that's what I do when it gets late. My brain shuts down before I'm asleep, and I'm like, I don't know where I am. I'm really good at 11 a.m. Y'all, 11 a.m. is my jam.
I'm out of bed at 11 a.m.
Yeah, because you work those late nights.
I'm at work right now.
Crazy.
Hmm.
Where was that? Now I'm like, I want
Okay. One day I won't work like this.
Yes, no, you will not. With the way you're going, sooner than later.
I'm slaying this shit, I tell you.
That's awesome.
Okay, though, like my phone's dying, so I have to jump off the call. I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow on the coaching thingy.
Yes, so bring some guests and join for the coaching opportunity call. So, there you go. If Stacy, you can share the community, maybe one or two of them could be asked. Who knows, right?
Okay.
Like just say, I know you're not interested in this, but maybe you know somebody that is possibly, because I know you know some people. So would you mind just listening to this and just giving me feedback on what you think?
Okay.
And that way it's like you're totally like, I'm telling you not to join me, is what you're basically telling them. I'm telling you, don't join me. And it was this actual call like this that I did on the spot, and I'll never forget it. It's like one of those like moments that I'll never forget. But it was Marilyn. She showed up on it and it was a random thing. Like it was just, you were there on the live video, and I was just like amazed. And then she became like the rock star she is, and here she is now. And it was just, it's amazing. Like you just never know. And I'm just so blessed that I did that, and I was bold enough and brave enough to get out there and do that live call when I did, because I knew it needed urgency. I didn't know why, but I knew I needed to be urgent about it, and I did, and here you are. So I really always think, like, if I didn't, that's why action is so important.
So is that 9:30 tomorrow?
I think it's 9:30. Is that what I said? I think or did I say 9?
I thought it was 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put like so many things, because then on Thursday there's the power half hour during the day. This week was a little bit heavy because of Team Cup starting, and also you guys, I wish Christina was still on here because I gave some tough love to her. But so there's with Team Cup that push group, and I know it's late, so we're gonna get off right after this. That push group is like we're gonna run it like Amber's. So I have Misty working on that, but starting February 1st, you got to log every day. You can follow whatever tracker you want, but you got to show up every day. You get one grace day. So one day of grace and you get removed. So you want to tag the rest of your team so that they stay committed too. Like if one of your teammates hasn't plugged in, tag them and be like, girl, you got to come in here because the winning team, the one that is the most consistent, and it's not just Success Club points, it's showing up, it's, doing live, it's the whole thing, it's, PB. And, if all, 5 of the teammates finish strong, it's coming together and showing that you're a team and a sisterhood together in this group and that you pushed each other as a community to finish strong in February. Then you each all win as a team, Soar-United tanks. So that's going to be something that's just for our team that I'm going to be doing. And there's 5 Team Cup groups in Soar-United. So
that's crazy good.
yeah, so it'll be fun, and I'm just excited to see how that goes. I'm gonna plan to go live in there and then encourage some of the other leaders with coaches to go live in there, and just add value to the group on top of everybody plugging in. So
Will this be a separate group on Facebook?
yes. And
Okay.
I believe you're already in there.
Okay.
It's called like Soar-United. I need to delete.
Because I knew there was an invite, like an event.
I think it's Soar-United Team Cup. I just saw it.
Okay. I think I've probably been in there. I just don't recall because, yeah, we have a Facebook group for our Team Cup, and yeah.
We have a group for all the groups.
Yeah. I mean,
Read out groups and pin to the top. Like you want to start February because it's Thursday. Unpin all the groups that you don't need to be focused in on during February and be intentional. So you're going to want to really just put those certain groups pinned to the top of your newsfeed. And do y'all know how to do that?
like make a group a favorite?
Like this is my home screen and it shows all my shortcuts right away.
Yes.
So as soon as I open up, I have my shortcuts. So I've got to go through and remove all these shortcuts so that I can have my intentional ones. Like I want to only focus on those groups. I don't want all these groups because that will distract me. And I need to be intentional. And I usually rank them too. Like I'll put like what's the most important thing I need to check into first and then go down the list. So with your shortcuts, and I think that you have to do that with your laptop.
Oh, okay.
That's what I would do to be, really intentional in February because consistency and all of that comes down to organization, and my vibe attracts my tribe, and I'm overcoming that. Look, y'all would be so proud. Look at all that. Isn't that amazing?
That's good.
Look at me. What? So anyways, I'm growing in that area, and just, knowing that, a lot of us aren't naturally intentional about organization, and it can really hold us back, burn us out, shut us down, make us quit, all them things, because we're wasting too much time on the things we need to do because we're not organized. And that's the root problem. The whole problem's unorganized.
I love y'all, but I gotta go. I gotta get up at 5:30.
Same here. I know. All right. Well, thanks. Good night, y'all.
Good night. Good job, Stacy. Stacey.
Yes.
Thank you.